Hello, hi, I'm here, hi. Hello. Oh my gosh, I'm alive. I am not productive as I wanted to be. At least, you know, where I was saying I wanted to get, you know, to sleep at a decent time. I didn't. 1 minute late. 1 minute late. If you knew what I had to deal with. Balrogs and aliens and rats and for
Mother,
YouTube.
did you happen to see the real-life Horus with his world breaker?
No, I didn't. I definitely didn't turn him. I definitely didn't see a giant man with, you know, a giant claw and stuff. And I definitely didn't turn them into a cupcake and throw them into space. No, it definitely never happened. Definitely never happened. You're just like a British train only being 1 minute late. Talan, what kind of magical British trains are you on? What kind of magical British trains have you seen? 1 minute late. 1 minute late. That's like, I mean, do you know once I got a train? This was not too long ago. I needed to get a train. And what time was it? It was like 11 a.m. when it was meant to arrive. It was about 12 and they decided to say it was cancelled. And we'd have to catch the next train. The next train was meant to arrive at 12. It arrived at 1:30. Oh gosh, yeah. British train service, gotta love it. And would you believe it or not, that was in one of the rare times there wasn't a British train service strike. Hi Nanofate, hi TA, hi Talan, hi Erland, how are you all doing? Hi Empress White Ball. Oh my gosh, new model, yeah! We got a new lore video. Look at the lore video on the channel. I've also got a cover song that came out. And there's the VOD for the new model debut, which is about 1.5 hours long. Yeah. I'm going to get, and oh my gosh, I need to get my sleeping habits back in order. There's so much things I need to get done and I'm just not getting them done because I just can't get my sleep in order. And then my tummy's hurting all the time. Oh, but Cuptle is so cute. Yeah, Cuptle is adorable. Look at him just looking up at me. Aren't you cute? Turtle flavour. Oh, but look at her, Cuptle. Look at that, Cuptle. Yeah. Oh, your model is back at 30 FPS. Let me check. Is it back at 30 FPS? Oh, I swear it was one of these settings or something for us, like FPS stuff. Is it this one here? Never blink, mouse of... No, it's at 60 FPS. It's at 60 FPS. Quality and effects, 60. Stream is at 60 FPS. No dropped frames. Yeah, everything's at 60 FPS. It's more about the consistency of being late. Look, I wasn't late yesterday. You were late yesterday. I wasn't late yesterday. You were. And that's not even a joke. Well, hi, dinosaur soda. Oh, iOS. Oh my gosh, new cupcake. Yeah, new cupcake. And guess what I can do with a cupcake? Oh, hat. And you know, the actual, you know, head pat now works with cupcake. Yeah. It's a hat. It's a hat. It's a hat. Yeah. Oh, my thingy feels itchy under my glove. What do you mean? Is a customer late to buying stuff at the store? But you're the mod! That's like saying for security. That's like saying, hey, can the security be late to an event? It's like, yes! You're meant to be on the door. You're meant to be the bouncer, Talan. You're meant to be like making sure there's nobody in here that's not meant to be in here. And you're just like, nah, I'll arrive only when I want to. Oh, we don't have security at the store here. You are the security. You have a scary little mouse that sits out front of her thing and goes, ah, stay away. Oh, oh, goody, goody, goodness. Goody, goody, gumdrops. There we go. Security here sucks. I mean, true. The best day of your life. Best day of your life. Yeah! I've got 3 new models to paint. I know I wanted to get for black done before the stream, but you know. Yeah, I just didn't get it done. Not in time anyway. I'm sad. Well, let's look at stuff. I did finish painting one of these guys last night while I was listening to Avenging Sun. This guy, yeah. Nuln Oil actually saved it because his eyes were much messier, at least this eye on this side. I just couldn't get the brushing to cover the red without also painting over the eye. So I just threw Nuln Oil at it, but Nuln Oil fixed it. Nice. Also, look, he's got dirt on him. He's got the extra armory poppy stuff. Oh, as in like the wear and tear damage on his gun and sword. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I need to do like some stuff. I'm going to wait until I got like, you know, gelled pens. I've also put some extra detailing on that, like highlighting and stuff. For all of these, I think they're pretty much all finished now, except I just need to do for wear and tear on them, for dirt, that sort of thing. I think these guys' eyes are also fine. Gotta buy some milk breeches. Oh no, Mark 3 breeches. Yeah, the breeches are cool. But can't you just buy the upgrade kit and mix it with pretty much any other kit to get you like self Mark 6 breeches if you really wanted to? Okay, to pretend I am working, I will ban 3 random people every stream. No! That's not right. That's not how security is meant to work. I bought the car model, but I don't know when I'll have the courage to paint him. Oh! Carl looks like he'll be hell to paint. Like, it looks like the type of model you really want to paint sub-assembly, or at least parts of it, before you glue it all together. Well, speaking of Carl and Mechanicus, new models. This is how security works at the Stripped Club. Well, who's been using paint strip wrap for club? He's got to make everyone feel ill. But look, new rules! New rules! Claudia Gold is, she's definitely like at full Carl level. She's got the same toughness, the same number of wounds, same armor save, same infundable save. I think it's even the same movement. She's got this really, really cool weapon. Basically just a las cannon. Just short to range with devastating wounds. Or it could be used to take out infantry, sustained hits and blast and all of this rubbish. I'm more of an Earthshade guy myself. I did use Agrex Earthshade on these things as well. That's how I do for make the stuff pop on. I put Agrex Earthshade on all of the gold and some of the leathery things. And like on the skull. I'm going to go back over with on the metals for like copper on the skulls and stuff. Just Wraithbone. And it helped make everything pop out. It's really nice. I crack stuff shade. Hi, Blair Boris. No, don't eat cupcakes.
I'm back to eat another cupcake.
No, eat cupcakes. My friend's not food. But yeah, she's pretty good. In melee, she has a sweep attack and a damage-free attack. Both of them pretty good stats. She's definitely around Carl level. She's like if Carl was more themed to destroying big things like monsters and vehicles. In fact, even she has an ability here where once per turn at the start of the shooting phase, she basically just straight up just goes, hey, that vehicle takes D3 plus 1 wounds. She has to roll a dice, 2 plus, but yeah, 12 inches, D3 plus 1 wounds. She gets lone operative when near other Mechanicus units. She has this thing off a forge, which basically At the command phase, choose one of these abilities to be active until the start of your next turn. And then... What's this one? Oh yeah, she can move over terrain and stuff really easily. Everything is food for a cupcake, except other cupcakes. Well, it's like a worm muppet. It's, yeah, this is just my cupworm. My cupworm, yeah, with upside down fangs for some reason. That's it. It's not my true form. I'll never be a worm. I'll never be a worm. I've got a shot with that. You can select one friendly Skitari or Furia guild unit within 6 inches of this model. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn in which it advanced. Pretty powerful. You can select one Furia guild model within 6 inches until the start of your next command phase. That unit is eligible to shoot and declare. I should have just given it a Skitari keyword at this point. And declare a charge in the turn in which it fell back. Also good. Or select one friendly unit. The Conqueror Imperative and Protector Imperative are both active for that unit. Oh, Doctrine Imperatives. I can't remember what they do. So yeah, she's pretty powerful. Magic. Oh, for magic one we'll get... What is it called? Queued up. I'll go magic. Oh no, for magic is won't work out for moment. It's not a command. It's not a working command. I'll after turning into worm, I'll turn back into my magic model, my mage model, after 5 minutes. So just give it 5 minutes and I'll turn back. Don't worry about it. We all know you forgot how snakes look. No, I was making a worm. I forgot how worms look. Oh gosh. I just like to imagine if worms have, you know, little teeth to hook onto things like ha yeah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so she's pretty powerful. I don't know how to feel about this. Worms don't even have mouths. This worm does. This worm does. Yeah, just a very feminist worm. Yeah, very feminist worm. I'm just a legless lizard. A legless lizard, which is different from a snake. Looks like a snake, not a snake. I'm a legless wizard. Oh no, for big old hat. I'm not a legless lizard. I'm a legless wizard. I'm a limbless wizard. Hi, ABCD, I forgot the rest. How you doing? But yeah, I don't know how to feel about this character because she's basically just core level, but if core was less focused on dealing with hordes of infantry and more focused on just getting rid of tanks and monsters. She's definitely much more capable of going up toe-to-toe with things like Gulliman, Angron, stuff like that. Like, she could pretty much kill them with this D6+2 damage hits on 2, strength 12, devastating wounds. Then 6 attacks at damage 3 and strength 10. She very much does actually stand a chance at getting rid of things like that. Actually, let's look. Let's look at the imperatives. Because I don't remember what the imperatives and stuff are for Mechanicus very well.
I have seen enough. Send her to fight the Demon Prince.
Yeah, send her to fight the Demon Prince. She's not going to do, like, amazingly well against stuff like that. But she's... So, Doctrine Imperative. So, your Protect Imperative, ranged weapons equipped by models have heavy, improved ballistic skill by 1, and each time a melee attack targets that unit, if this unit has battle line keyword is within 6 inches of a battle line unit, subtract 1 for the hit roll. Okay, so, like, if she targeted herself with this, or Skitari unit, she can give herself a lot more durability. The Conquering Imperative gives you the Assault keyword. Improves your weapon skill by 1. And if within range of a battle line unit, or if you are a battle line unit, improve armor characteristics of your attacks by 1. Okay, that's pretty powerful. She gets extra. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, she'll definitely have a hard time against things like Angron and Demon Primarchs and stuff. But she's definitely much more suited to going up against the likes of them. Like, her damage output is much more focused on heavy hitting stuff. Comparatively, let's compare her to Carl. Yeah, you see, he does have a similar attack that's slightly higher strength, but it's got Melter. So yeah, I mean, he does have that actually. I forgot about that. But his melee attacks are a lot weaker. Like, he's got this 2d6 attack that could easily slaughter its way through Guardsman. He's got this attack that, it says anti-vehicle, but it's only damage 1. So, not that amazing. And then his axe. So he's definitely much more suited to fighting Marines and stuff. His weapon is a shorter range than her weapon, and that Melt to Freeze is not going to be useful unless it's within 9 inches of the enemy. And he doesn't have the monster keyword or anything like that. Oh no, he does have a monster keyword. Oh, so he does get big guns never tire. I wonder if she does as well. She does have a monster keyword. So yeah, she can big guns never tire as well into the enemy. That basically means she can shoot someone who you're in melee combat with. But you got -1 to hit. So yeah, okay, mate, he is just as good at dealing with those things. Not quite as good because like this is just much better. She should be relatively good going into Terminators as well. Because like this attacks, as long as it gets through the armor and stuff, is pretty much guaranteed to kill a Terminator at d6 + 2, its minimum damage of 3. The Devastating Wounds definitely comes in handy.
Poof word doof doy. Spooking Unus.
Hi French Puff, how you doing? So yeah, I don't know. She could defeat the Demon Prince as long as it's not a Demon Primarch. Then you've got the other characters out here. So New Skitarii. They kind of fill a bit of a niche in the Mechanicus. Like, we do have some like cool units like the Cataphon Breaches and stuff. But the issue with them is they don't have the Skitarii keyword, and these guys have a Skitarii keyword, which gives them a lot more usability. Don't know why my mouse keeps disappearing. There we go. So these guys, they kind of anti-infantry. They get a sustained hits as long as they don't hit monsters or vehicles. And they got the anti-infantry keyword here. But they don't get devastating wounds of their anti-infantry weapon. And at strength 5, most infantry they can shoot at, they'll be wounding on 3s or 4s anyway, so this doesn't really matter to them. So what it feels like is that you can only have them in squads of 5. They can't be in squads of 10, so the amount of shots they can get out is relatively limited. So they're very much not that great firing into things like horde units and stuff. Instead, they're much better against things like Space Marines, like AP -2, pretty good against the Space Marine. Get the Conquer Imperative on them, especially for their extra AP. Damage 2, Anti-Space Marine. They'll be good against things like Aberrants, Siphonian Berserkers, Lictus, von Ryan Leapers and stuff. So things with the infantry keyword that are toughness 6 and higher. Ooh, things like the new new Mutilators and Obliterators will be good against because they're toughness 7. So yeah, damage 2 isn't going to do well against a lot of those odd number of wound units. And it's still got to do well. It just means that you're liable to losing some damage. The second gun for Arc Blaster, it's got devastating wounds and anti-vehicle and damage 2. which for just like a minor weapon that's just got anti-vehicle, having damage 2 is actually pretty good, and with devastating wounds. So they can actually deal out damage to vehicles surprisingly well. Hello, Clyde. The sustained hits can definitely up the damage. They're not very good in melee, although 5+ invulnerable, 3+ armor, 2 wounds, toughness 4. They are pretty tough, but they're very slow. So they're pretty much like a good all-around unit that can just like support anything else that your army is lacking. But especially if you're just like lacking things that can deal with things like marines, obliterators, stuff like that. How's it going? It's going well. How's it going for you? We've then got the Fusiliers. Same type of unit. They ignore cover for monsters and vehicles. And they've basically just armed with a short-range last cannon. So for these guys, I'd say are arguably better off the 2. Again, you can only have them in units of 5. But the last cannon is pretty decent. It can take apart vehicles. It can, well, say for last cannon, for neutron fusil. Can take apart It can take apart vehicles pretty well and monsters and stuff, but you can also just fire it into things like Terminators or, again, obliterators and stuff like that to do some pretty good damage. The heavy phosphor blaster also allows them to deal with like general purpose light infantry and stuff, so things like guardsmen, orcs. It's strength 5, 2 attacks, ignores cover. It's pretty dangerous. So again, they're meant to be more of like an all-purpose unit, or more accurately, if they've got a speciality they're good at, but they can also do other stuff. The article mentions that both of these can like support one another, and that is true, because don't forget, you don't have to fire all of your weapons at the same target. You can mix and match what your weapons fire into. So it's like you got a horde of infantry and you got 2 of these squads. Well, you can fire for casters, eradication casters into the horde, and for phosphor blasters. Meanwhile, if you got a vehicle nearby too, you can blast apart the vehicle using the neutron fusils, and then finish it off using the heavy arc blasters. Or the Hastari arc blaster. Ooh, Hastari, isn't that like a Roman unit? No, that's a Hastartes. A Hastartes, yeah. But yeah, so they seem to be, they're definitely meant to be supporting one another, and they're definitely very good in supporting like your Skitarii and stuff. So they're good, they're good. Then we got the new Night Destrier. Oh yeah, they do fill in like this sort of just gap that the Adeptus Mechanicus currently have. Because your normal Skitarii, they're basically just guardsmen level, just with a better armor save and better guns, but they're not the cheapest units. You got stuff like your Sky Stalkers, which is effectively your jump pack infantry. Oh, they're toughness 4 with 2 wounds too. Oh yeah, but they're basically your jump pack infantry. You've got your Servitor Battle Clay, toughness 4, but they're not super tough. Infiltrators, 2 wounds again. They're okay. They're filling a bit of a niche. Especially good for like if you want like an entirely Skitarii focused army. You don't have to feel like you need to take the Cataphon Breachers. Or the Cataphon Destroyers, which are basically just servitor units. Then you got your Night how do you say that? Destrier. A Night Destrier, which is surprisingly fragile. Like, and we knew it would be weaker than your typical knight. But a typical knight has like 26 wounds and is toughness 11. This has 18 wounds and is toughness 10. Meanwhile, an armiger is toughness 9 with 14 wounds. So it's closer in terms of like durability to an armiger than it is to another knight. In terms of damage output though, it's more knight level rather than armiger levels. And it is a full class as a full level knight. It doesn't get the bondsman abilities though, so it doesn't support your armigers. but it doesn't equally benefit from Bondsman. Does count as towering, does count as Titanic. Does count as a super heavy walker. It has 3 what weapons? It has the Gatling Cannon and Frag Bombard as standard, and the Crestaris Heavy Stubber. And it can swap either of its weapons for either the chainsword or spear. It can't have 2 spears and it can't have 2 chainswords, but it can have a chainsword and a spear if you want it to. If you do take both a chainsword and a spear, then its melee weapons increase its number of attacks by 2. So that means you'll be getting like 10 sweeping attacks with your spear, or 6 attacks, or 12 with your chainsword, or 7, depending on what thing you want to use. You can't use both of them at the same time. You have to always choose which one of these weapons you want to use if you have both. And then you have to choose which way you want to use it into attacking. With it, 2 extra attacks is pretty decent, especially for these weapons. In terms of shoot... Oh, it's 5% vulnerables against range attacks only. It's got its Gatling Cannon. Oh yeah, all of its ranged weapons have the assault keyword. Gatling Cannon is damage 2, strength 6, AP -1, 12 attacks. Not bad. Quite short range, but pretty decent. Frag Bombard, again, short range, but it's got Rapid Fire +3 and Blast. Just D6 +3 attacks. Strength 7, AP -1, damage 2. Honestly, this feels just like the better of the weapons. It's got +1 damage. On average, at half range, it's doing, what, 9 attacks against something like Orcs, which can have, like, squads of 20. It's got to be getting an average of 13 attacks into the enemy, compared to the 12 that this one will have. And it's got the extra strength, and it could have well above just for 13 attacks if a roll. I mean, both are fine. Both of the assault keywords, so you can advance and shoot with it. It's also always going to have a Crestaris Heavy Stubber, so strength 4, AP -1, damage 1, 6 attacks, rapid fire 3, and assault keyword. The chainsword gets more attacks, and its sweeping attacks stronger, but it lacks the same AP. And the spear has the lance keywords. It gets +1 to wound at a turn it charged, which is good. It definitely feels like it fills a niche. It's also very, very, very fast. Like, it moves 12 inches, and every time it moves or advances, it gets +D3 inches to its move. So on average, it's moving 14 inches, and it's advancing on average 5.5 inches. And since it can shoot while advancing, it gets, what was that? 14 inches, 5.5, nearly 20-inch movement per turn. Meaning that while the melee weapons are definitely stronger than the shooty weapons, there's definitely a lot of reason to take the shooty weapons over the melee ones. Just have this thing sprinting about. Also, if it shoots at a unit on an objective marker, it gets the Ignore's Cover ability, which is pretty nice. Hi, Chaplain. So the new Destria, we don't know how many points it is, but it definitely feels like it will fulfill a niche. It doesn't feel like it'll be a super expensive unit compared to like other things. Like it just doesn't have the same amount of firepower. It doesn't have the same durability. We look at like knights over here, and then compare it to like a Knight Crusader. It's got less toughness. It's got a lot less wounds. It doesn't have the bondsman abilities. Its main abilities aren't super strong, and its damage output is definitely not on the same level as just this type of stuff. Like the thermal cannon here, and the Gatling cannon here, which gets more AP, more attacks than its Gatling cannon. But it certainly has a lot more firepower than something like the Helverfane, which is 100. Sorry. 135 points. Definitely a lot tougher. A lot harder to kill. And yeah, just way more firepower than what this can deliver. And if you compare its melee weapons to the... Actually, let's check. Reaper Chain Glaive, 10 minus 3 damage 3. Compared to... over here, 5 attacks instead of 4. That's strength 12 instead of 10. Minus 3 for both. And it does D3 damage plus 3 instead of just 3 damage. So it definitely fits that, that middle ground. And if we compare that chainsword to the likes of... Who can have a chainsword? Can you have a chainsword? Yeah, here we go. Which gets 1 less attack than it does. For 2 extra strength, 1 extra AP, and it always does 6 damage instead of D3 plus 3, which is a max of 6 damage. Less attacks than the sweep, but more on the strike is surprising. But yeah. So it definitely fits. It's pretty much in an exact middle ground. And I imagine its pricing will be similar, about 220 to 270 points, I'd imagine. Do they say good night before turning in? Yay! You are good nights. Have they get tucked into bed? Like just a giant night bed? Oh, you see some knights have like these big capes on them? No, that's not a cape, that's just its blankie. And sometimes it just gets caught in the armor. Oh, but yeah, so it seems pretty decent. I did expect its spear to be a ranged weapon as well, a bit like the harpoon on one of the other knights, but I'm kind of glad that rather than having a new knight for each version it can possibly be, it's just one version with multiple options. And I think there's definitely not like, at the moment, one thing that like just pops out for me that's significantly better than the others. Like one way of equipping it. Like you can equip it for melee, but be pretty decent, but if... So it died, my internet died for a second there, it's still a bit weird. There we go, it's fine. But yeah, so it definitely has some... I definitely think all of its potential options, like if we go full range, it's definitely going to be good at dealing with hordes and marines and stuff like that. If you go full melee, it's going to be much better at dealing with other knights, monsters, vehicles and stuff, but can also deal with stuff. And then you could just mix and match it so it can deal with a bit of everything. I'd say that I definitely think mixing and matching would be better. I think for an all-purpose one for Frag Bombard, or the chain cannon, either or actually. Both could be good. Of us, strength 7 is a breaking point for a lot of things. I don't know, the Gatling cannon is arguably better because it can fire the Gatling cannon while in melee. At what it's in melee with. The Frag Bombard for blast keyword, it can't do that. So I definitely think that the best one is probably going for the Gatling cannon and something like either the chainsword or the lance. Either would be fine. Maybe the chainsword would be a bit better just because it gets more attacks out. And otherwise it has the exact same stat line, it just lacks lance. I mean, for the sweeping one, it has more strength, less AP. But other than that, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good knight. It's agile. It's definitely very, very fast. So if they said it's fast, they weren't lying. Oh, but we have models to paint. I've done everything on these guys pretty much, so all that needs to do is the wear and tear on them. Yeah. Okay, played my first game using a Warhound Titan. The knight I bought did slightly more damage. Got my friend begging to buy it off me. Wait, the knight did more damage than your Warhound Titan. How did your Warhound Titan do? Did you win? Your knights are really, really good. Warhound Titans are generally overcosted. They purposely make things like the Titans and the other big wrestling models kind of bad. Like for the price of them. If you don't know how to deal with them, they can be very overwhelming. But as soon as you know how to deal with one, they're kind of bad. They purposely do that because they don't want the game decided by giant wrestling models that only a few people can buy. And, you know, even if everyone could afford them, they can only make so many at a time. It died quick, fought God, thanks her. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because I don't think it gets the benefit of ruins. Like, usually most things with ruins, if you can see them, but there's a ruin between you and them, you can't see them. But I think with things like Knights and Titans, anything with a Titanic or Towering keyword, you can see from past ruins, I believe. I can't remember. It's been a while since I checked rules. And for many of my games, I was playing with the older idea of rules where you don't get line of sight blocking terrain like that. Oh, what build did he go for? Did he go for the good old plasma cannon and Gatling cannon? Or did you go for my favourite, turbo laser destroyers? Mine doesn't have turbo laser destroyers because I couldn't find one with turbo laser destroyers. But I love turbo laser destroyers. But like, it's one of my favourite weapons. It's like every single time I can get like a laser destroyer type weapon, I'm getting it. I'm getting the new Falcon tank. I got the Shadow Sword. I've got the my current Fellblade has the turbo laser destroyers on it. Sponsons. Turbo those things will. They do. I've also got a Thunderhawk with its turbo laser Titan killer. Cola. Coca-Cola. Oh, gosh, it's fissing. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola original taste. All sugar. All sugar. But what brush do I want? I think I want Fist Brush or 00. And I want to get some Rust Grey. So generally, when you're doing like it's most obvious with, where is he, Fist Dude. Like if you wanted to do that type of battle damage there, you generally want to find a colour that's a lot lighter than the colour you're currently using, or just a completely different shade. For this, like on Fair and stuff, I prefer Rust Grey because it makes it feel more like wear and tear rather than just highlighting on the model. And sometimes you just want to like just actually use the shakiness in your hand to just make those areas go. Why do you hate Zero Sugar? Because
why do you hate Coke Zero, Conjurer?
It uses artificial sweetness. And artificial sweetness really mess with my stomach issues. A lot of foods completely mess with my stomach issues, but artificial sweetness are like one of the worst ones. A lot of natural sweetness that aren't sugar as well also mess with them. But like if you look up a lot of these sweetness and stuff, you'll notice that you'll notice that like with people with they can cause IBS. Like temporary IBS, and they can mess with people who already have IBS and stuff. Yeah. That's my main thing. Like, especially for me, I just do not react well with them. Times when I have been drinking for... Oh, so I have low blood sugar levels quite often because of my issues. And that's also, I need a lot of sugar in my diet to maintain itself. So having zero sugar is actually really, really bad, and it can cause like my internal bleeding. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Smilex. Which is also one of the reasons I got really upset at Pepsi for changing their recipe to include artificial sugar sweetness in the normal flavour, because it wasn't very obvious that they did that. And if I did notice a change in flavour, I thought it was just due to the fact I had COVID at the time. And I became very, very, very
You're a
ill.
brave woman, conjurer.
I'm a brave woman. Why? I became very, very, very ill. Very, very, very quickly. And I was wondering why. And it's like, oh, it was a Pepsi. It was a Pepsi. Which is why I think they need a law to like say, if they do like a significant change in the recipe, they need to make it very obvious on like packaging and stuff. Like, new recipe, new flavour. Check the back for details. Like, I would check the back for details. Soup. Cola is superior. Cola is superior now. The cat hair on that brush then. I've got a magnifying glass. So I can see exactly what I'm doing. And see every mistake I make in extreme detail. Or in some cases, mistakes I made earlier and had not corrected. Yeah, it's very hard sometimes to correct mistakes. You don't always notice them until much later. Oh gosh. Hi Lord Grandmaster, how you doing? We finally get into painting after 45 minutes of looking at the new data sheets. They're very, very cool. Yeah. I wonder. I didn't see anything on the new data sheets, but I wonder if they're gonna have a thing of like splitting the armies up. The other Chaos Space Marines. Because it's like at the moment you can't use like Tor Gideon with Calgar, or whatever his name is. Or like Lysander and Calgar. Because they're from two different chapters and you can't like use Shrike at the same time. Every single Space Marine belongs to every single character Space Marine belongs to a chapter, and it can only you can only have characters in the same chapter, like named characters. Chaos Space Marines currently don't have a limit like that. Like, if you want Abaddon, I believe you can also take, like, the Red Corsair dude, her and the Black Cart, and you can take the new character. So it might be that they might release an update. Bye, Chaplain. Didn't sleep last night. Go and have a nap. Stay awesome. Thanks, Chaplain. Thanks for popping in. Good night to your big love hearts. Hope you have a good sleep. You got to graduate from school, so nice. Good luck to you, Dr. Smiler. There we go. The hell this model. Cat hairs. You get everywhere do cat hairs. There we go. There we go. Oh gosh, that's a lot more than I want to put there. Fine. I can still see bits of green stuff coming through here. And where the model got damaged and to be repaired. It's not very obvious, I think, but when I'm looking at it, I can see it, but it's very hard to get a brush down into these areas. Feels weird, like having this thing look so messy here, but still trying to paint the rest of the model as well as I can. I mean, it makes sense. If you don't paint something as well as you can, then you're not really going to learn. And the future models you paint aren't really going to be any better, are they? Three months away. 3 months away! Still, good luck to thee. Although with any luck, you won't need luck. Contradictory statement right there. I like wishing people luck, and my father's like, you know, I don't need luck for something like that. It's like, sure, you don't need luck, but being wished good luck is better than being wished bad luck. Like, sure, you might just be going to the shops, but if you get some bad luck, it might go really badly. Like, you never know. A helicopter could fall from the sky. A car crash could. You never know what's going to happen. I'm always like, good luck. Never mind what happens. Good luck. You have to do Duolingo. You have to do Duolingo. Ugh. Evil, evil bird. It went evil, that birdie bird. I used to do Duolingo a long time ago. Before the AI took over. Hello! Hello, Aioli! How are you doing? You made the music! You're the amazing person who made the music for my cover song. And did all the cool mixing and made me sound relatively good. Yeah! Oh, you're not a mod here. There you go. There you go. Standard. Standard. Save. There you go. You stand out now. And also, shout out you're doing well. Yay! I'm glad you're doing well. We're currently painting. Look, cupcake. Change all your. Oh. There we go. I got a little confused when I got from Mod World. Yeah, that means that you stand out. People know that, oh, you're a Vtuber. I turn along to go.
Triple shot of skill, please, bartender.
How's the painting going? A lot slower than I'd like it to be. A lot, like Erland said, we need a skill. Not Erland. Why did I say Erland? Anthony, Eternal. Adds a 9 out of 2 ad to Cupcom was talking. I'm savage. Oh, yeah. YouTube ads have gotten very, very aggressive. How's the painting? Yeah, the painting is going very, very slowly. I wanted to get like these 3 finished before the stream, but I only got this one finished before the stream. You can tell they're finished when they got all the dirt on their legs. Advertisers aggressively. Advertisers aggressively. Yeah, aggressive advertising. Buy your new Cuptle plush. Ah, I wish I had a Cuptle plush. If I ever get popular enough, I'll release a Cuptle plush that you can hug like this thing, and it'll be big and cuddly, and it'll be like, oh yeah. I mean, in theory, I could work with like. I would have to be careful. I might have to get Cuptle redesigned to be more unique. Oh no, we could definitely sell the Cuptle plush with a wizard hat, I think. Because what I found out is that Cuptle, there's another cupcake turtle already out there, but it's also orange. Designed by Google. They ended up springing for YouTube Premium of how much YouTube I watch, and it allowed me to ditch Spotify finally. YouTube. There we go, connection.
Mother, I demand a recolor. You got one, I need one.
You demand a recolor. Honestly, it actually might be a good idea to recolor as well. We're back. Yeah, they died. YouTube Premium. I would get YouTube, but it's so expensive. It's like 15 quid a month or something crazy like that. It's just so hard to justify. It's like I could get Disney Plus and Netflix and Amazon Prime or something like that, and for the same price. Well, maybe not. They've all gone up in price now. It's surprisingly cheap for over there for you. Oh, it might have gone down in price, maybe, because it was 15 quid. Like, I remember they had like the student discount one that was like really good. I'm like, oh, I'm not a student anymore. I can't use that. And if I had a family plan, it could potentially be worthwhile. Netflix is like 25, whereas YouTube's only 19. Oh my goodness. Netflix is like 8 to 9 quid, depending, over here, while YouTube is like 15, 16 quid. Oh, actually, I've not looked at either recently. I use my parents' Netflix. I never want to use Netflix. I don't know how expensive it is now. I don't think it's super expensive. There we go. You're in Switzerland, aren't you? Everything's expensive in Switzerland, though. Like, because my best friend moved to Switzerland, and she talks about the prices all the time, and it's like, oh my gosh, how are things so expensive there? I mean, the wages are much better. Real. Our salaries do adjust right, but it kind of just leads to us having a warped perception. Yeah. I think the main cost is like where she's been having some issues with the cost.
What I think I really need, as well as a recolor, is some evolutions. You evolved to cat perfection. I need a step between me and Cup Kaiju.
That could be cool. Actually, yeah, we could probably release a Cup Kaiju version of Cuptle. Like, if I'm in Germany or UK and I see the prices, I have no concept of what's cheap and what doesn't make sense. If you're down south in the UK and you're looking at, like, physical prices in shops, generally things are going to be super expensive. Meanwhile, if you're looking at the prices of things in Cupzilla, Yeet!
Shady's back. Back again.
Back again. JD's back, 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 back again, again. Guess who's back? Tell your friend. But what else was there? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, prices. If you're down south in England, especially like near London, things get really expensive. Equally, if you're in places like Cardiff or Edinburgh, things can get a bit more expensive, not as expensive. Sometimes the prices are cheaper down south. Like when I was living down south, everything was super expensive except just every so often. Like transport prices, way cheaper. Way cheaper they were. Although nowadays, transport prices where I live, they like completely redid the system and took state control again. And it's like, it's reasonably priced now. Hi Douglas, how you doing? We're doing well today. Need a model of it. Want to paint for Cup Kaiju? I could probably get a 3D model for Cuptle commissioned. And then just release it for free. So you can 3D print it yourself. There we go. Shut up and take my money. Yes, I'll take the entire stock. If I wanted to actually sell a 3D printed version, there's a number of things that come into issues there, in which buying like a model that I can give away for free and stuff, or buying art and stuff like that can be relatively affordable. But as soon as I need to sell it, it's like I want to sell it to use it in merchandise or whatever. It goes from like, hey, this piece of art will cost you 25 quid to like, this piece of art will cost you 250 quid. And then it's like for production, I could definitely work with some like 3D printers and stuff. To get them to like sell it to whatever, but it gets confusing. It'll probably just be better to get an STL or whatever file for it, and then you can just print it off yourself. Yeah, commercial license for art is very expensive. Yep. Thankfully, most artists don't include streaming for like commercial license, or if they do, it's only a slight increase to the prices. Or if they like use it for thumbnails. So unfortunately, it's like for any sort of thing where it's like producing merchandise, unless I produce for art myself, which is possible, selling things will be, it's just very untenable for me. With the design of Cuptle and the cupcakes, though, I do feel like I could potentially release like plushie versions of them and stuff, and potentially sell it as more than just, you know, connected to the brand. Because I feel like if I've got plushie versions of the cupcakes made, they would sell well beyond just fans of a channel. I feel like people would look at the plushie cupcakes and be like, oh my gosh, that's adorable, I want one. There you go. Slushy cupcake is a good night, Foxy. Yeah. Oh, I was watching. Not watching. I saw somebody on Reddit that was having the first ever game, and they were using My Little Pony, you know, for little final models you can get from My Little Pony as proxies for custody bikes, and it was like, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And you know, My Little Pony is canonical to Warhammer World. I mean, fantasy, not 40k, but still close enough. My Little Hydra. Foxy. There we go. Some cool. Okay, I do go a bit overboard sometimes with the paint here, but it's fine. Nothing Nuln oil won't fix. Honestly, when it comes to like this, I don't think this model was too bad. Like, I sculpted the tabard and this bit here myself. I think this bit looks fine. Now it's painted. This bit is fine all the way up to about here, where I suddenly just messed it up. If you play for Ogre campaign in Total War Warhammer 3, you can get a random event where they find My Little Ponies. Results are to be expected if they eat them. Yay! My Little Pony's adorable. It's an adorable thing. Although the fandom is very, very scary. Stay away from the My Little Pony fandom. Actually, just stay away from fandoms in general. Fandoms suck. Full of people of questionable repute. Oh my gosh, I've been watching Lord of the Rings, right? Like, just bits of it at a time, like when I'm eating my food, or sometimes when I'm painting or doing some work. And I have no idea how certain
You best start believing in fandoms, Cupcake. You're in one.
I am in a fandom. I'm in multiple fandoms, in theory. I interact with fandoms. For some fandoms, I just have to completely turn off. Because they're just like, nope, nope, just no. 40k fandom isn't too bad. There's definitely some very questionable parts of a fandom. Bye-bye, Dr. Smilex. Thanks for coming to the stream. Bye-bye. Very nice of you to be here. There we go. Oh. Hello, Night Parade. We're slowly painting battle damage onto the models that I said I wanted to have finished yesterday. Or today. Okay, so just getting notifications. I need to turn off because you're bad. You best stop believing in ghost stories, Lady Elizabeth. Lady Swan. Was she in one? Apples. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but brings the zombie pirates towards you. An apple a day is just fun. The question is do the pirates, when first undead, want people to know for undead? Because they attacked at night rather than during the day. But when they were attacking at night, you never really saw them being dead until, like, the story wanted them to be seen. Hi, Nick the Salamander. How you doing? Hi. Oh, shaken Templar syndrome. I was trying to wave, but I was holding for model like, hi. There's no such things as mistakes. Barbosa. Barbosa. Barbosa is such a good name for a pirate. Did you know? Apparently the pirate accent is inspired by... Is it a Midlands accent or is it a Yorkshire accent? I can't remember. It's one of them. I think. That would have caused that marine.
That would have caused that marine so much brain damage. Thankfully, as a proud inheritor of Dawn, there's nothing in there to damage.
Hey, Dawn was very clever. More clever than silly Perturabo of the Iron Warriors. Yeah. Oh, what do you think of the new knight, Anthony? Have you seen the new knight rules and the new tech priest stuff? The new tech priest is like Carl if he was more specialized into fighting bigger, tougher things. Except technically his gun is a bit better against tanks and titans and stuff. Which is literally car level. And for other knight, we don't know what points they are, but that's definitely above armature level and below normal knight level. Doesn't get bondsman keywords or bondsman abilities. It definitely feels like it's very, very fast though. Very, very fast. Oh gosh, let me on. Oh, bones, muscles cracking and snapping. Okay, let's get some Nuln oil on these guys. Let's just dip them in Nuln oil. Yeah. The stereotypical pirate accent comes from an English actor who played Long John Silver in the 50s. He was from around Dorset. Ooh. Where's Dorset? Down by me, down by you. So if you move, would Dorset follow? There we go. Okay, where's my Nuln oil? Give it a good old shake. Southwest. Where's in the southwest? Ah. Like near Cornwall and stuff. Do 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 do. Okay, that should be shaken up enough. Yeah, don't want to remove all of that blooming. I want to remove the gunk in the back of this. Half our blooming painting streams is just removing gunk from inside the paint box. Oh gosh, that's a lot of gunk inside a Nuln oil box. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Nuln oil, Nuln oil, come and get a Nuln oil, Nuln oil, Nuln oil, come and get it too. It is helpful at dealing with the places where I go over the lines. Nuln oil, painting it too. Nuln oil, get into the recesses. There we go. No nylon for recesses is very good. Very, very nice. There we go. There we go. Just make these black pop. Make them pop out. So make the wear and tear a little more subtle would be nice. I think we'll just want to dry brush some Zephyr dust on them. We used to do Armageddon dust, but I found Zephyr dust is just better. Very, very nice. There we go. Yeah, just... We're not resisting the urge of a Nuln oil today. Oh gosh, we went way too much there. We went way too much. Get it off. Get it off. There we go. So I'll leave these guys to dry while we then work on everything else. There you go. So now what we need to do is get the black paint done on these three models. Which is a difficult task. Let's look at them. So we got guy over here who looked at the rules. It is variable faster than the Armager, but since it's completely falls outside of the army mechanics, I don't see this point. Do you mean like it doesn't use a bondsman ability? I don't know, I think the main point of it is like when I was trying to build a knights list, it could be quite difficult without, you know, a middle ground between the full scale knights and the armigers. Like I have to get like rearranging for points so I could, you know, not have just too many spare points in the list. I feel like it fills that sort of gap. So it's like you got the two knights you really want, and you got an armiger or a couple of armigers. I mean, like, oh, I got. I'm assuming if it's like relatively like 200 and something points, it allows it just to fill gaps in like army lists. The other thing is it has a lot more firepower than an armiger, while also being faster than them, with all of its weapons being assault. While it doesn't, you know, benefit from bondsmen and stuff, it does feel like it is strong. Like it can just very quickly go to one part to a battlefield and just deliver a hell of a lot of firepower. I don't think there's much point having like more than one in your list, but just having one in the list doesn't get buff, can't give for buff. The funny thing is, it can utilize the extra speed because it's a super heavy walker, so it can just walk over models smaller than 4 inches tall. Yeah. Like, it's on average going to be moving around 19.5 inches if it does advance that turn and still able to just shoot all of its weapons. Which I think is where its real strength comes into play. Like, it can just move from one side of the battlefield to the next and just be like, okay, I'm over here now. It could potentially be move as quick as an aircraft. It's like one of the quickest things of the game in theory at the moment. So I think that's where its real utility just comes into play. It's like, oh, I need a bunch of firepower to support my units over here now. Because you don't have that many units. I just really need to focus this one objective quickly. Or that thing over there is just really annoying me. Let me get rid of it. Whereas other knights might have to take a turn or two to respond. I think the other thing about it is also remembering that it's a lot more viable to throw into a list than a full-on knight. Like, do that as an allied thing. Like, with a full-on knight or a castellan, it's like, that's a significant chunk of change that you're having to put into a model that can't benefit from any of your army abilities. Meanwhile, armigers don't really do a hell of a lot more than just vehicles in most armies anyway, outside of, you know, Imperial agents. So that fits a nice middle ground of being kind of cheap. Potentially being kind of cheap. But also, you know, doing stuff that most armies won't be able to do anyway. I think in terms of alliances, it will be very good to have in. Okay, so we got this guy. Ooh, he's got like both sides of his shoulder pads have this cool lip on it. Okay. Doesn't have a tabard on this dude, not even a green stuffed one. Does have candles on his backpack, so he definitely feels Templar-y. He'll be a great ally. He can take up to 3 armigers as allies, but this single model should be very good. Yeah! Because the issue with armigers is, especially for Hellerothane as an ally, it doesn't really do a hell of a lot. Like, why would I take a Hellerothane over, let's say, a Ballistus Dreadnought for Space Marines? Other than for Hellerothane's a bit cheaper. Or why would I take a Warglaive over, you know, a Brutalis? As Guardsman, it's like, why would I take either over Lehman Russ? Other than, you know, for Warglaive actually offers decent melee. But then it's like, I could take like 2 Sentinels for the same price. Because, I mean, they definitely have their uses, but most armies outside of agents that they can ally into. The Warglaives aren't going to be able to bring much to the table that's not already there. Meanwhile, Knights can bring a bunch more stuff, but it's like, I've got 2,000 point list. Let me just spend over 400 points of that on something that doesn't benefit from any of the army rules. Or my detachments, or my stratagems. Okay, he's pretty cool. What about this guy? This guy's got a bunch of green stuffed flame. Oh, it's meant to be a bunch of green stuffed fire on the floor. He's got a fire pistol. He's the guy in charge. He's got a power sword. Ooh, really cool shoulder pad here. Tabard. Does he have battle damage on his knee? No. It's just a bit of paneling. Candles on his back again. And then this guy has no helmet, but he's got a bionic eye. His helmet's all smashed up and damaged. He's got big old scratches on it. Big old pistol. Tabard. Okay, where's one of my thicker brushes? Is this it? Yeah, 000. We'll get some... Not Abaddon Black. Not Shaiish purple. Not Nuln oil. Do I have it? I don't think I've got it out. Let me then find the colour I want. It's Black Templar Contrast, would you believe it or not, for these Black Templar models. Storm Fiend, no thank you. Gogwunter Flesh, no thank you. Gulliman Flesh, Ultramarines Blue. Aha, Contrast Black Templar. So yeah, I'm not interested in a redo the army rule to add ballistas as a target of bondsmen, in which case we could get some synergy going. When I've looked at it, I've never really cared much of the bondsman abilities. Like, I always build my army not around the idea of, you know, using the bondsman abilities. So for me, I feel like, oh, this is a pretty cool model. Because the one thing it doesn't take into account is just something I ignore anyway. Oh, that's just usually how I build armies anyway. I always build my army usually ignoring the army ability of the army rule. The one exception to this is the great to good rule for the Tau, in which case, you know, it's incredibly important that you've got some good units that can observe for you. I was drunk in this pot as well. Oh gosh, the gunk in these Templar contrast pots does not come out easily. It just breaks apart and crumbles. It just means you push it around rather than just take it out. And you want to take it out so you can make sure you can close your paint pots properly. Oh gosh, there we go. So, annoying paint pots. Okay. Black paint. We've got to remember to ignore that knee pad there because that's one I want white. You get some acrylic medium into this pot. Not acrylic medium. I mean, technically it's acrylic medium. Lamia medium, whatever it's called. What colour did I have? That's red. There's another parafist here, and that one was also red. I think I want to go for green tubing on this one rather than red tubing. With a parafist cable. Oh, black paint. Yeah, painting for black is always a bit time consuming. But with Templar, you're always choosing between either undercoat it black and have a time consuming time of trying to get the whites to look white and your other colours to pop. Because you're not just going to be able to contrast paint over them. Or paint a lighter colour and then have a time consuming time of painting for black over most of the model. But then allowing all of your other colours to be painted much easier, especially for contrast colours. There we go. What do you think of the new Mechanicus models then? Because you like Mechanicus stuff, don't you? Or am I incorrect with that assessment? Shooting is nice, melee feels a little underwhelming. Abilities are all good. Nice she picks up low and OP, yeah. The melee seems fine, I think. Because she's got the monster keyword, so she can just shoot into the melee as well. And she's definitely meant to be supporting Skitavi, so she's not like Carl as much, where you kind of expect him to be by himself when he's into the melee. You kind of expect her to have something else with her at the same time. I mean, 12 attacks at... Is it damage 1? Yeah, damage 1. Isn't too shabby. And then 6 at strength 10, damage 3. Because it has to be blast. Yeah, if she gets caught up by a horde of infantry, it could suck a bit for her. But you really just want to throw her against monsters and tanks and stuff. Like at strength 10, damage 3, she'll still be doing a very decent job against them. And she can target herself with her own abilities, giving herself some extra AP and stuff. Oh gosh, messed up there. But that's fine. I imagine it'll be very good to take her with either something like sterilizers or, do you know, for rust stalkers. Because they'll just deal with the other things around her. Because they have this guitar keyword. I guess Carl would technically be better because he can deal with infantry a lot easier than her. Hi, Tony! He can deal with the infantry a lot easier than she can. And his motor gun can still mean he'll deal with tanks and monsters pretty well. Especially because it's strength 10. Strength 14, sorry, not strength 12 like hers is. But it is nice to have a character, you know, that boosts Skitavi as much as she does. And the new Skitavi unit's very nice. At first, I only really liked the ones that are basically armed with blast cannons, but then, you know, the other ones have also grown on me a bit. Darn it. That's fine. I'm gonna have to paint it white anyway. Thin layer of black's going to be, and it's in the shadowed area. Don't be too bad. Yeah, for non-Nesco's last cannon heavy Skitavi scene funds, that per martial manipulus in there. Or your preferred favourite of rerolls or lethals. Oh yeah, I forgot about them. I never looked at the other characters that you could potentially put in there. I like the last cannon ones. Other ones, but anything that's like very clearly like anti-tank and stuff, I'm just like, yes, please, thank you, more of that. I am sad you can't take more than 5 of them though. I really wish you could. Because 10 of them just doesn't seem, just 5 of them just doesn't seem to be enough. Like the amount of firepower they'll get out feels insubstantial. I think having 2 units just walking next to one another, one of the basically last cannons and one of the other ones, would be pretty cool. And they could very, as the article suggests, they could support one another pretty well. Drinks. Okay, how do I get into here now? Headphones are falling off. I'd also like if we were better in melee. Like, you know, getting 2 or 3 attacks each. Because then I could see you know, throwing them close into the enemy. But the issue is they need to get kind of close to the enemy because the weapons aren't very long range. But as soon as they do, they just risk getting torn apart in melee. Yeah, I mean, you see devastating wounds on the anti-tank weapon they've got, but on the anti-infantry, one of the things it's like feels a bit weird is that anti-infantry 4+ is all well and good until you look at strength 5 and you think most infantry is toughness 4 or lower. Then you got things like orcs, which are toughness 5 and really still going to be wounding them with 4s. Terminator should be wounding them with 4s either way. The only exception to this would be things like Aberrant, Siphonian Berserkers, Graphis. But if you're firing into things like Graphis, you'll be losing a lot of your damage because they're 3 wound models and you're doing 2 damage. So you means you need 2 shots to bring down a single Graphis and you're losing a lot of damage there. You could also fire into things like Leapers and Lictors and stuff where it's good. Where's the Nuln anyway? We've been using it. We just like washed these guys down with Nuln after putting for battle damage on them. But hi, the mongoose, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're currently painting, as you can imagine. Are we talking about the new rules of the new models? New AdMech and Knight models? What colour schemes? What you want to do with them completely depends on what you want. I find Nuln Oil is very good on like metal colours and, you know, things like black colours anyway. But generally it's like, it depends how you want to use them. Like for these guys, I'm going go for painting battle damage and stuff onto them, but sometimes it's like when I'm painting for grey, I accidentally get into like the areas I don't want it into these divots, and I want those divots to be like still black. So you put Nuln Oil over it, it will seep into the divots and turn it black. Another thing it does, it will slightly darken like all of this stuff, especially where it will pool, and that just helps that helps just shade in the battle damage, making it feel a bit more subtle and giving it some colour variation. Things like Agrax Earthshade, it gives a more, it dries more in a dark brown colour, so it's very good with things like gold, skin tones, leathers and stuff like that. But equally, you can always just use Nuln Oil with them to give it just that much more darker feel. If you got something with lighter colour schemes, you probably don't want to go with Nuln Oil. Agrax Earthshade might be better, or you might be better off with, depending on how light it is, something like Apothecary White, which dries in just a light grey. There's a clear part of the glue is cloudy. What's this? I'm awaiting the arrival of some super glue debonder. I made a mistake, put a piece in a hole the wrong way round. Tried to glue a toothpick to it to yank it out. Eventually I had to cut it free. Ooh. But it's a clear part, the glue is cloudy. Ah. Note to self. Get the kind of glass repair. Back! Yeah! Yeah, be careful with some of the glue breaking down things on clear plastics, because plastic can also be broken down pretty well by a lot of these things. It's best to test it out on like some plastic you don't mind first. Actually, a Bob Smith stuff dissolves CA, but not plastic. Okay, that's good. Right, where's the tissue? Oh no! Oh no! Tissue. There we go. Cuptle, I'm gonna use you as a tissue. Oh, there you go. I like how he looks up at me as soon as I did that. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Cupcon? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Damage I cut out sealed right back up. Any visible bit will be hidden by the piece once it's put in right. That's good. That's very good. Ooh, that's very nice. This is for RG Gaio Gaigar. Apparently it's a reputation as a hand grenade. A hand what? Why has it got a reputation for being a hand? Hopefully it doesn't explode. Oh, I changed what for bomb is, by the way. If you want to do a jump now, it's mega jump. Mega jump. That should work. There you go. Ooh. Good catch. A model fake kit that falls to bits as you hold it. Oh no. Yeah. And hand grenades don't usually fall to bits while you're holding them. If it did, that would be very bad. It's has very posable fingers, but they tend to pop out unless you're very careful. Oh. I imagine this has caused lots of people just decide to glue them. True, but you usually don't throw model kits either. I mean, it depends. It depends how annoying the model kit is to build. In which case, yeah, maybe I would throw it. You know. Also, if you're a YouTuber, and you know, if you buy, as a YouTuber, if you buy anything super expensive, as a rule, you have to throw it on stream. That's just part of a contract you sign when you become a YouTuber. Compared to Flame Toy's Megasword, where I had to painstakingly assemble each hand, that one is more sturdy. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, I've been listening to Avenging Sun, which is the book where they introduce the Primaris for the first time. And we've just got to the point where the Primaris have been introduced. It's a very interesting read. Very interesting read. I was listening to it last night while I was painting. Do 5 armor just come back? I think armor just up too big to be a knight. But they're more combined into something like... Oh no, they're too small for a Warhound Titan. Maybe a very big knight. Ooh, a Sylvester's. Yeah, if they could combine into something like a Sylvester's knight. They combine into a hole in your bank account. Look, armigers are surprisingly cheap, money-wise. Like, compare them to any vehicle for a similar size, and they are cheap. It's like, what, 56 quid for 2 models? You can buy either 1 Redemptor or 2 armigers. Absolutely insane. The cost of a combat patrol. Yeah, 4 armigers are like the cost of a combat patrol. Me here looking at the tiny weavers, like, would you make really cool war dogs? Not gonna lie. Weavers as war dogs. Are they big enough for war dogs? What about the Joy Toy Knight, which you can just use as a Warlord Titan? You could play 2 armigers in combat patrol for rules, 1 warglaive. So that would be the cheapest combat patrol for is. And a Verfin? Oh, a Hellephane. Or Elephane or whatever they're called. I don't know. Tiny Reaver's about the same size as an Armature. Base is different, but it's 105 compared to 100. Circle. So not really. Ooh. So all you have to do is just rebase it. I was building that Megazord that I learned. The Gundam Shine Silver mark was incredible. I stripped the finish in one area, used the pen, can't even see it now. Ooh, that's cool. Used it on Overfold from Lion Legs, took a while. Ooh. That's nice. Wait, does anyone have any names you want to name for a Black Templar? Because these two still don't have names. And nor does this guy. We got Big Dave, Saint Leonard, Augustus Saget, Jerry Berry. And we've also got these three here. Can be a silly name, can be a serious name. Everyone is leaving the sausage fields today. Jeff. No last name, just Jeff. Okay. Just Jeff.
You English people be like, ha 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 ha, it's Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Although generally we don't have the joke of, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, innit, bruv? That's what everyone else made a joke about. Making fun of us. Just Jeff. Hi, Sparky. Jeff the Space Shark. Wait, it's not a Space Shark. It's a Black Templar. Any other names are also welcome because we've got 5 Templars here who currently don't have names. Jeff the Glitchy Silverfish. It's not a silverfish, it's a Black Templar. It's not a silver nor a fish. Who's ready for previews tomorrow? Technically, it's not tomorrow for me. It's on Thursday. Because it's at 1 a.m. in the morning on Thursday. There's going to be a whole load of new 40k and Age of Sigmar and Horus Heresy and Kill Team and all sorts of announcements. Adepticon! Where is it? Let's go over here. Yep, over here. Bunch of announcements. These are some hints. Middle Earth, Horus Heresy, Age of Sigmar, Underworld, Kill Team, 40k. Hi, that guy over there. And hi, just say hi, Dennis, to Dennison of Mystery. Hi, Dennison of Mystery. Hi, Quadro. What is Old World? Yeah, no Old World, apparently. Sadage. No Kiss left today. If we get Foystrom, that'll be close enough. The sandfish is a type of skink. The lizard, not the soup. There's a soup known as a skink. What? It can be very hard to tell what's black and what isn't when I'm painting on this dark grey. Although I guess that's not a bad thing because it means if I do miss a spot, it's still just going to be dark grey. It's not going to be easy to notice. I don't have to be very accurate anyway because I can always just fix it later. Once these things do become more obvious and more colours end up on the model. Look, it's not retcon of Beastmen. It's just the old law was all just Bretonian propaganda. Anti-Beastman sentient. Funded by Boris Todbringer. The Beastmen are just fluffy little friends. You know? Pretty kitty, pretty kitty. Where's Cuptle? Cuptle, get over here. Ah, hi. Like a marzipan calico. Definitely not Uma Musume. Fear the old lord, by the gods fear it. I should probably add a thing where Cuptle cannot just automatically appear and disappear when you change a model. There you go. Like a marzipan calico. Marzipan! I love marzipan. I'm here to drink the Nuln oil. Hi, Saradwin! Don't drink my Nuln oil. We need it to paint models. There we go. This is definitely one of the most time-consuming steps, just getting the base colours on them. Not just the fact of it, like the base black and stuff, just all of the colours. Once they're done, the rest of it's quick. Ish. It's relatively nice monotonous work, mind you, for like when I'm trying to get other stuff done. There's just a lot of monotonous work to do. I need to get a bunch of sprues cut up at the moment. I need to get a bunch of magnetizing done. Yeah, YouTube's weird. But in general, if you think a term is going to be bad for YouTube, just try thinking of a different term that's going to be better. Like purple people eaters. Purple people eaters. Yes, Saradin turned me into a cat. It's really mean. But don't you like my new cat model? Detect evil. Oh, that doesn't work with a kitty cat. So that's just going to be queued up for my next model. Go back for mage model.
Dear God, the cat has no idle animation. It just sits there, staring into our souls.
It has no idle animation. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Who needs an idle animation? Who needs it? Release Turt isn't a pickle. There you go. See? Evil detective. Oh, my horns! My horns! No, they're going off. They're going outside the world. Wait, if I put my finger just like here. Like here. And then go. Step! Ah, my finger! Ah! I just saw the Twin Lands Tower units and I didn't say no to the mini. My bank account just vetoed the decision. Oh no. The power we have at home. What do you mean? I'm so much cooler than power. So much cooler. Like, if you went bang at me, I'd be fine. That's the one thing I know about One Punch Man. Well, not One Punch Man, Chainsaw Man. Eh. You lack the gremlin energy that makes us so endearing. I like gremlin energy. I like gremlin energy. Eh, punch. Punch, 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 punch. Where's my little knife? There you go. Stab you. Stab you. Get shanked. Get shanked. There you go. Me like gremlin energy. I'll show you gremlin energy. I'll show you all gremlin energy. I'm not stabbing myself. No. You're stabbing yourselves. By the way, mega jump. Mega jump is the new explosion. The new way you jump. If you do the mega jump command. Like this. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Look at my little cupcake. Oh. Ah, there it is, the explosion. Boom. Wee. Yeah. I had to redo it because of YouTube being a big old nasty. Okay, that's a bit too wet. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, mud. We got mud. Should have called it Rocket Hot. Maybe. Maybe. But then TF2 would have, like, sued me or something. I don't know. I don't trust TF2. Have you seen how much they charge for digital hats? They introduced gambling for kids. Oh, I should probably do that rock and grey. I like to think the temps of the purple pads are former Sons of Phoenix. Nah. They are the part of the part of my 5th detachment from a crusade. The mobile detachment. And that means they got purple shoulder pads. And since they're in squad 2, they got white knee pads. Gonna get myself some death shrouds next month. More factions need power scythes. Yeah, power scythes are good. Necrons used to have a power scythe dude. They used to have a war scythe dude. And they've lost him. And they've not brought him back, and it's sad. Okay, I might have gone a bit overboard with the dirt on these guys. next to just lacking out the tip of a gun, because you know it's meant to represent that's where the bullet comes from. And then get some typhus corrosion. I should have done the typhus corrosion before the dirt, whatever. Where's my typhus corrosion? Here it is. What do you think our otherwise hope will be revealed at Adepticon? Like, it definitely feels like it's going to be arcs, speed feaky stuff, and guard stuff. Well, exactly, it's a bit of a different matter. Space elves riding dinosaurs. Maybe. Oh, it looks like we might get some Lumineth Realm Lord stuff. But I don't think that's exactly what you wanted. I learned about the Great Gnarlocks GW took away. Yeah, they were cool, the Gnarlocks. And the Gnarlock Rider stuff. We might eventually get them again for Tau. And for Kroot. I imagine we will. Because there were Forge Road Wessin stuff. Originally. But equally, it turns out Kroot aren't the most popular thing for the Tau right now. Like, they've released a really good Kroot box if you want to get started with Kroot, or put Kroot into your army. It's all the best looking units. And I don't think it's sold out yet. Like, let's look. Is it still here? Yeah, it's still available to purchase. And a lot of shops it's not sold out for at all. There's a few other of these things. Do you know, like the combat patrols? Yeah, all of it, like the Corsair and Night Lord and Kroot ones not sold out. The Photon Dark Drukhari ones, they sold out. Return of a Squiggoth. Which was the other one that came with them? Chaos Space Marines. Corsairs. Yeah. Did they fully sell out now? I don't think they did. They weren't sold out last time I saw. Yeah, they still got the Battle Forces on sale. And yeah, here we go. This one's not sold out either. Yeah, none of those combat patrols sold out. Either they produced way more than they thought they needed, or maybe they just produced a lot and expected it would take a while to sell them all out. Because they have had issues of them producing stuff and it just sells out instantly, which they don't really want to do. They want to produce something and it sell really well and continue selling. So more people have a chance to get it. Wow, Patrol Space Marines. Actually, I have seen it sold out multiple times, the Space Marine Combat Patrol, which absolutely sucks as people are getting ripped off. But yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised by how badly some of these boxes actually sold. Oh, this Battle Force isn't sold either. And they are a bit more expensive than expected. This one you get in a bit more value than kind of expected. Though, of course, the Eldar one not as much. I'm not too surprised this one didn't sell out because it's got Reaver and Raiders in. This already has Reavers and Raiders in. This has Felgar in, which aren't the most popular type of unit. It's a really cool unit. This one, I'm thinking people were complaining about this Battle Force because it's got even more Corsairs in it. Not Corsairs, even more Legionnaires in it. And it's like the last Battle Force had Legionnaires in. The current Combat Patrol has Legionnaires in. People are just getting a bit oversold on Legionnaires at the moment. Which, I mean... Legionnaires can easily be converted into Chaos Chosen. Definitely. They could easily be converted into Reavers. Got myself a Death Guard Patrol for very cheap. Nice! 290 points for 170 USD isn't a good deal, despite significant savings. Yeah. It's a better deal than buying everything individually.
Honestly, surprised Combat Patrol Space Marines isn't getting the Fallout 76 treatment. Buy a copy of Space Marine 2, get a free Combat Patrol.
I mean, honestly, we could probably do that. Hi, Tor! How you doing? Honestly, they could really do that. I mean, they kind of did a thing of like a mini patrol, but it had Titus and some gaunts in it. And as like a promotional offer. And some rules for like a literal scenario game. Yeah, I'm not surprised that... Where are they? Xenos armies. Like the Eldari one, I'm not too surprised at, because they're just competing with one another in a lot of ways. Like both of the Combat Patrol and the Battle Force, in which it's like you're just getting the same units. And they're not units you want a hell of a lot of. Like Sky Reavers just aren't that good to want lots of them. And because it's also got named characters in both of them, the same named character. If you buy the Battle Force, you don't really want to buy the Combat Patrol. If you buy the Combat Patrol, you don't really want to buy the Battle Force. It's just going to be better to buy the units that you're missing. China has resisted building the Elder Scout. Yeah, I'm not building the Elder Scouts today. We're going to build them for Broadside probably next week. Not painted. We have just been painted. Give my arms a little rest. And my eyes. But yeah. The Night Lord's Combat Patrol is directly competing with the Red Corsair Battle Force and the Red Corsair Combat Patrol. Like, it was questionable releasing 2 Chaos Combat Patrols and a Chaos Battle Force, all of which, you know, share some similarities with one another. Like the Night Lord Combat Patrol has Nemesis Claws in, which is just an upgrade sprue for the Legionnaires. So that means it competes with the other one. This is a Reeve Captain. For Battle Force is a Reeve Captain. It has 5 Raiders. For Battle Force has 5 Raiders. The Raiders aren't super good. Drink cola, yay! I'm good. We got in 30k worth of bikes at work today. Ooh, that's so good. So I've just got my work cut out for me this week. Ooh. Working hard. Working hard. Yeah, rhinos too, if they come with any new combat patrol. Yeah, oh yeah, the rhinos are competing with one another. I don't think the rhinos are necessarily a bad addition, mind you, because you could easily have 2 or 3 rhinos. What were the previous combat patrols? Like, if I look at my if I look at my own thing. Videos. Yeah. There was some good stuff to take into account, I guess, with them. Never enough rhinos. Yeah, for Chaos, you don't really have many options for, like, good transport outside of Land Raiders, other than the rhino. And the rhinos are not bad, so having more than one of them's not necessarily a terrible thing. But they're definitely good for, like, starting Chaos. I also got told how much my employee discount would be on the new bikes I was planning to buy. 1,500 NOK on a 70,000 NOK bike. That's not worth it. I think I'll stick with my current one for 1 more year. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a big discount. I think with a Kroot Combat Patrol, I just don't think Kroot are popular enough. I think that's the main issue. And if you do want Kroot in your army, you've either already got Kroot in your army, or you might just want 1 or 2 units in your army. You don't necessarily want an entire army of Kroot necessarily. On top of this, the Tau Codex was released with a Kroot battle force that had all of those units in it, other than maybe the Farstalkers. Which, again, it's competing against people that had bought that back when the Tau Codex came out. So, it's a bit meh. That's never been a popular choice for a main build. They're more of a specialised support build. They are. And at only 290 points, this could easily slot into a lot of armies. Like, it'd be cheaper to add into your army than a Storm Surge. But as people say, it's still a lot of money for very few points. The Admech Combat Patrol sold out. They will sell out. It'll just probably take a few more weeks. Games Workshop's probably not that fussed about it. I do know that these 2 Combat Patrols both sold out to the main website I usually buy very quickly. I can actually just check, like, how's Wayland Games doing? For Games Workshop. Warhammer 40k. Gotta do, like, combat patrols. There we go. Are any of these combat patrols sold out at the likes of Wayland Games? Recruit Combat Patrols got more than 10 in stock. The Red Corsair one is more than 10 in stock. Night Lord one is also more than 10 in stock. Oh, and the Elder Corsair one. Okay, so they're not selling out either. It's possible that they bought in more of them. I swear I saw them sold out. What about the battle forces? Corn Demonkin is... Oh, that's still in stock. My goodness. Lord of Excess Battle Force. Eldar Corsair one still got 10 in stock. Lord of the Maelstrom one for Red Corsair Battle Force is sold out. We've still got Imperial Agents Battle Force. Oh no. Oh, and they've even cut it back down to 108 quid. So it's like so much cheaper than every other Battle Force and it's still not sold out. We've got 2 left of the Thousand Sun Battle Force. 4 left of the Emperor's Children Battle Force for Lord of Excess one. Yeah, I don't think that the Maelstrom sold as well as Games Workshop was hoping. But for those 290 points worth it on the tabletop. Yeah, the gorillas are really good melee options. Some of them I'd say not really. Like this guy over here, the shooty dude, he's pretty good. But how expensive he is a bit But people already have a lot of the gorilla guys because these Krutok's at the back because they're relatively cheaper than like this dude here. This guy, honestly, he's not that great. These guys, they're okay, but Krut Carnivores are better. You can always play these as Krut Carnivores, just remove these 2 dudes and basically they're just Carnivores then. But yeah. I wonder if that's going to affect how they do these type of things in the future and what type of lessons they're going to take from it. Okay, how are they looking? They're finished painted now, these 2. Oh, yeah. Apparently some Maelstrom Elder boxes were missing models in the box. Oh. I've not heard about that. I've heard that the Combat Patrol is missing the Falcon upgrades through for the vehicle, which just sucks. Farstalkers are all a kill team too. Yeah. I think one of the things of Chaos is that because you had straight before this, they had a battle force before it, didn't they? Already for Chaos Space Marines. Not too long ago. They've just had a lot of releases in a relatively like short time span, and I just don't think people are willing to buy them. Like you had the Christmas Battle Force, that was very, very good. Then after that, didn't they have like another Battle Force or another Combat Patrol that came out? So that just... I kind of see people getting like a bit of exhaustion. At least that's some progress. Primed minis, yeah, we got 2. So we finished these 3. We finished these 3, 4. We got 3 more, and one of them with paint. Look, he's painted black. Kind of. He might need some more work. Oh gosh. This pot is an absolute mess. These models have been primed since last month. True. Actually, well before last month. They've been primed for a very, very long time. I only just got around to painting them. First was painting them one at a time, but now I'm painting them 3 at a time. Because if I want to try painting them all at once in like a production assembly line, it's just exhausting. And it takes longer. But at least this way I feel like I'm making progress. I take kind of lessons learned from one model and apply them to another. A lot easier. You got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. Good luck, denizen of misery. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck tomorrow.
At the dawn of the first age, when the shadows first lengthened, these models were already primed.
True, true. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been with listening to the book Avenging Sun, and it talking about like the Imperium and stuff before Gulliman came back, or just as Gulliman came back. I think people I've realised that a lot of like stuff that people have been like making comments about how the Imperium is have been taken from Avenging Sun, which was purposely trying to exaggerate just the bad state the Imperium was in before Gulliman. And that it's no longer meant to be in that state. Like, they're meant to be producing new stuff now. And like repairing and cleaning and improving things. Which has kind of always been a bit of a case. But before Gulliman awoke, the Imperium was effectively on the, not just the verge of collapse, it had been collapsing for a very long time, but was now in a state where it was literally... Terror was in open rebellion. And stuff like that. And had just so many issues going on. And then Gulliman and Car were basically just tasked with fixing it all. Not to perfection, but... It's just made me realise that a lot of people took that sort of thing at face value without necessarily thinking, oh, it's not meant to be like that anymore. Things are improving. Ba 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 dam ba da. There we go. I've also focused a lot on the hypocrisy of the Imperium and how, like, and the very, very closed off world view that each of the characters actually have of things. Like, what one perceives as normal is not necessarily actually normal. It's just fun. Not sure what to buy this Steam sale. Getting your salary soon. Ooh, I wouldn't know. I got the new... Well, I say for new. I got the Rogue Trader game and Dark Tide. I decided to get in for sale.
chaos literally tar, in reality and wane. Minor inconvenience, barely a speed bump.
Yeah. Oh. What I like about it is there's also a thing of like where they're showing a world where it's like, and they're talking about a world. The world was basically dead by the point they're talking about it, but they're talking about like how it was before. And it wasn't like a special world in terms of like being an extremely wealthy or extravagant world or one of the so-called pleasure worlds. But it was actually like a decent world. Like it had a lot of green, a lot of beauty. Living there was a decent life for most people. Until the Fire Nation, I mean, the Chaos Nation, I mean, World Eaters attacked. Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of like, also, it's like a lot of people have taken like the quote of like water rationing for this noble on Terra as like that's just how Terra was. But if you actually listen to the entire thing, it's talking about how the water rationing was new. And that for recent all sorts of issues, partly because of like the entire mega attack that occurred on Terra recently. But it's like because there was an uprising and stuff and a bunch of mechanical faults and all sorts, so that even the nobles were having to ration water. Or ration it far more than normal. And what they're getting wasn't clean. That was meant to be like, that wasn't true. And he's not even that much of a noble, he's like very low nobility. Abby literally cannot do anything right. Effectively, the way it describes it is that the tear in through the galaxy for the Imperium was already so like far down, like it's collapsing and stuff, that all it did was speed things up. That was already well in motion at that point. Like, maybe Terra wasn't in a situation where it needed to ration water that much before it, but after the tear in the Imperium and chaos attacking on Terra itself, suddenly it is. But it was only a few years away from that anyway. Things were already reaching a boiling point for the local populace. And it's... yeah. But also makes it kind of realistic how government could actually solve these problems. Like just one person could do it. Because a lot of the problems are very, very fixable. And the reason they hadn't been fixed was just because of all, the terrible dogma of the Imperium. And at the same time, though, it frames it in a way that both saved and damned the Imperium at the same time. Because all this dogma and, stuff of saying how great the Imperium is and refusing to, like, advance, do things better, or try anything new or different. And, this entire controlling of information and preventing people from learning was good and bad at the same time. Like, it was good because most people weren't even aware the galaxy got cut into two. They weren't aware that the Imperium was failing and collapsing. In many regards, that's good because these people are less likely to, rebel, start worshipping chaos or anything like that. And they were easy, to cajole into actually getting stuff done correctly. Also meant that when chaos did attack, most people weren't even aware enough to even fall to chaos. Gundra's the #1 fan of misinformation. Yeah, but at the same time, it damned them because people just weren't ready for chaos. So this meant when chaos did appear, while some people were so dumbfounded by it that, you know, it just didn't affect them, basically. Others, you know, the entire worldview gets broken and they suddenly now are very vulnerable to the falling to what chaos can do. And to converting them into heretics. At the same time, it meant the Imperium just was, and its people just wasn't prepared for anything. They weren't trying to improve. They weren't doing anything better. And this just meant that while it did prevent a lot of them, you know, the Imperium falling quicker, it also just meant that they couldn't fix it. So they really needed people like Carl and Gulliman to be in these positions of power and promoting people who were willing to work and willing to make things better and willing to learn. I just like it. It's like the entire hypocrisy of the Imperium. Or no man-sized rats in Widenheim. True, true. But bigger than men. They don't speak Reichlandish. Instead, they speak some weird language called English. Very, very similar to Reichlandish. But yeah, I do like that hypocrisy of the Imperium, in which many people like argue that the Imperium needs to be like that because if it isn't, it fails. And Games Workshop keeps giving us like these stories and like these moments where it's like, no, no, no. The Imperium would be in a much better place if it wasn't, you know, spreading information, lying to people, hurting people, and all of this other terrible stuff. But every so often it does save them, and all that matters, all that does is just strengthen the dogma and worsen the situation in the long run. Yeah, I saw that LARP a while ago. There we go. Let me explain to you the Imperium's dogma. Yeah, I love the Imperium's dogma. It's fun. It's fun to read about. Well, historical themed and medieval LARPs are generally a lot easier to do than sci-fi ones. And on top of this, generally people don't want to be running around with guns. Even like prop guns because, you know, dangerous. And on top of that, what else is there? Your people make these cool Space Marine suits. They don't want to get them damaged in some LARP. I never see Space Marines deployed anywhere because they're like, I don't want to damage my power armor. It's expensive. They do new Phagus LARPs all the time. I've never heard of a new Phagus LARP. Oh, so that's basically fantasy tech anyway. Like one of it, like most of the people are just fighting one another while wearing baseball gear or trench coats and wielding baseball bats. So, you know. You didn't even finish the game. That's because you told me to do the DLC, but the DLC sucked. It's like, what's that worst DLC ever called? The one that almost destroyed New Vegas. It was so bad. No, I just got bored by the time we got to the DLC. Keep meaning to go back, but then it's like, oh, it's been so long. I don't want to anymore. Dodge! Dodge! Ah. Oh, he's so mean about things people like. The desire to cosplay as a Krieger rises ever higher, mostly because the idea of expressing from behind a gas mask sounds easier. Commissar cosplays are fun. Oh. I enjoyed New Vegas. I just got a bit bored by the time we got to the DLCs. And wanted to do some other games. An exhausting game to play. Oh, so you started being mean about what I like first. I love the bureaucracy of the Imperium and start talking about the politics of the fantasy Imperium. Oh, and then you were like, oh, so mean. And then you were saying 40k sucks. You're the one who started it to learn. Oh my goodness, just making stuff up. You never said anything bad about 40k. So mean, so evil. You applied it.
Krieg Commissar Anthony, keeping his men from doing a cult of sacrifice every time he turns his back. Failing miserably.
Stop turning your back. You're meant to keep like 60 eyes on them at all time. This is why I have like a junior commissar with you. So if you do turn your back. Oh, so make sure your junior commissar's not a Kriegsman. No! You can't say the thing I'm spending hours of my life working on for you guys is, you know, bad. I enjoy it. You really hate me. You hate me so much. You say Space Marines are bad all the time, and I'm painting Space Marines. Emotional manipulation tactics. Go. You know, get every time I cry about, do you know, people not liking 40k, Games Workshop gives me another model. Double cast Cupcake and erase him. His existence. Wait, how do I do this? Explode at Erland. Explode at Talan. Why do you try pinning Erland to my head? Get him off. Get him off. He's trying to dig through my skull. I was not too late to save Erland. But I paid for ultimate price. Keep on dreaming, Erland. No. You're not fed.
Do cupcakes dream of souffle sheep?
Maybe. Maybe. And if you wake up, they all go pop. You keep hitting me in the face and it's not fun. I'm trying to work. I'm dodging, dear. I don't think he can dance while pinned. If there's one thing I could probably do. Just duck down. Duck down. No, it didn't work. You cannot explode while pinned. Eh. Oh, there we go. You're a Necron cupcake. Oh no. The rage washed over. What about my rage? No! Rage never goes away. Skulls of a skull cupcake. There we go. You know that one scene where Aragon, you know, goes to the place of the dead people to recruit an army, and they like have to deal with just loads and loads of schools? Do you think that's what it's like anyway where you go into like Khan's realm? It's just schools everywhere. Oh, no, you don't think it's like that? I like to imagine that when he wants to get to his chair, he has to like climb this mountain of schools, and the schools just keep falling out underneath his grip, and he keeps sliding back down to the bottom. And every time he thinks he's near the top, just like another pile of schools land down on top of him, and he gets knocked back down to the bottom. No, it's mostly molten brass. Where do all the schools go then? With over 10,000 years, how many schools would he have collected? Like, if you include like demon schools and stuff, which he can literally collect. Just knocked that over. Ow. That's my magnifying glass for a big old bang you heard. Oh, why does he like brass so much? Like this God of War. What's it with brass? Brass is like a terrible metal to do war with. Was it like brass casings, you know, of shells and stuff? And like bullets. Does he just collect them all? And then he recycles them into like weapons and stuff. In which case, maybe he's an environmentalist, this Khan. You never know. He could be an environmentalist. Even evil people can be environmentalists. I mean, like, you can't exactly have war if everyone's dead because, you know, the planet stopped working. Well, you need to take care of your planet so you can fight more wars in the future. That's what Khan's like. That being said, his followers like destroying planets and leaving them
Vtuber,
rapid.
the skulls go in the skull throne. Why do you think he's so angry all the time? Have you sat on a skull chair? It's not comfy.
What? Oh. These demons don't drop skulls and transporting all the skulls of the human around to the domain of Khan is too consuming. All skulls are where they fall. No, he literally does collect demon skulls. Because they do drop skulls if you really want them. In fact, you want me to prove the demon skulls can be dropped? Okay, it's somewhere here. I think it's build and paint accessories. No, it's not here. Okay, never mind. Is it the scenery? Here we go. Look at that! Demon skulls! Demon skulls! These are skulls of blood lettuce. Right there. Demons drop skulls. Proof. Also, these are Kroot skulls. If they look like Kroot skulls, it might be lizard skulls for all I know. Beast skulls. Like, these are face Those crew skulls. Where's the crew skulls there? Yeah, 10 Tower skulls, 5 Boot skulls, 21 Gene Stealer Hybrid skulls, 20 Arc skulls. Okay. 6 Plague Bearer skulls. Yeah, see, look, Plague Bearer skulls and Bloodletter skulls. Alan, look at this. Look at this. Where's the Plague Bearer skulls? I imagine the Plague Bearer ones of these ones here. Yeah, they're Plague Bearers. And these two here as well. See? See? Demons drop skulls. Then you got for trophies. There's no demon skulls amongst the trophies. As far as I'm aware, none of those are demon skulls. Only the pure part. Actually, there's multiple ways demons die. Apparently, carnate demons, when they're going to like cross the... When they get destroyed and they come back, they have to like fight across like this gauntlet, and if they can't win, they're not allowed to come back and they just get permanently killed. So there's multiple ways that demons can get permanently killed, and even if they're not permanently killed, they can still drop skulls. So yeah. Take that, atheists. Also, they've been calling them, they don't call them demons in the books, they call them Neverborn a lot more now. I'm wondering if that's what they're eventually going to change the names to, Neverborn. Because, you know, they're born in the Nether. From Minecraft. Which is basically just for warp. I mean, you use the Nether in Minecraft the same way you use for warp. It's a place of literal hell, which allows you to just travel quicker. Oh, that would be the coolest thing if they added to Minecraft, like a way just to enter the Nether wherever you are. And to leave again. Without the use of a portal. Legitimately just giving you fast travel.
Fabulous Bill doing an elite tier atheism, / literally staring him down, and he's just like, nah bruv, you don't exist.
There's another thing like that actually where they talk about the it was again in Avenging Sun where one of the major characters, Mekatras or whatever his name is called, he was fighting some bloodletter things, and it was talking about how with the denying their existence to the face weakens them, but it doesn't stop them being any less deadly. Or, you know, it doesn't stop them still being a deadly force and whatever. And it's there, like, giving the logic of why they don't exist. And why they're not real. That was also like one of the reasons why the Space Marines were doing kind of better against them than like the Guardsmen. Who weren't aware that the demons they were fighting weren't actually real. It's like, yes, they are in front of us, but no, they are not real. They are figments that our enemy throws at us, figments that might be able to kill us, but figments nonetheless. That's very interesting. Well, that's also like one of the issues of the Imperium. Fully denying the existence of chaos means that when these things finally see chaos, they either think there's some kind of Xenos, which doesn't help, or, you know, for like, oh my gosh, what is this demonic thing attacking me? This demon is evil. It's trying to kill me. It's real. But that's like what most people's responses are to it. And by denying chaos's existence doesn't really weaken chaos as a whole. But by denying a demon's existence to its face does weaken that demon. And like a Space Marine who is well aware of what a demon is very capable of just denying that demon to its face. But some random guardsman that's never heard of a demon before, and suddenly they're fighting this creature that they know is real and is in front of them, they can't just deny its existence to its face. They've not been trained to, they've not been taught how, they've just been told demons don't exist, so this can't be a demon, it's something else, but whatever it is, it's real. I love the 9th Demons Codex where Sisters of Battle is trying to vote to a pink horror and it's just ash blossoming for shot away. Oh no. That doesn't sound very fun. Yeah, demons are one of those things that in lore are generally more powerful than they are on tabletop. Like even your lesser demons are quite dangerous. But equally, your last gun is more powerful than it... In some ways, it's more powerful than it is on tabletop. Space means Osawa. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's 7:30. I never even noticed the time. Yeah, so we'll finish just this little section off. Because I've got to get some work done after the stream. And some things. There you go. 9th Demon Codex also had 2 invulnerable saves, one for ranged and one for melee. Makes sense. Zinch had 4++ for shooting, 6+ for melee. Corn got 4+ for melee. Yeah, it would make sense. Although honestly, in both cases, like one of the things about like in this, I really liked it was like we're shooting at the demons, and many of the demons are like blow like these are just corn bloodletters, and they just like blow pieces off the demons, and the demons would just keep coming and coming. And it's like, nope. Like, your head's just been blown off. Demon doesn't care. You lost a leg. The demon's still walking about as if it has 2 legs. I believe that all demons in lore are weaker to melee than they are to shooting. Like, I think this is both in fantasy and 40k, where basically the power of your soul and your own psychic might works against the demon. And your attempt to like kill and stab it, and your idea that when you shoot the demon it should die actually weakens the demons just as much as your bullet does, or would. But in melee that's even stronger. Like, you think when you stab something it should die. Your idea, you stab it, and your very thought that thinking this should finally kill the demon will have a significant impact on the demon's ability to stay stable. Especially the more psychic connection you have. Phrasing, actually, are we sure this wasn't a Slanesh demons? Oh no. No, as in like they keep just charging at them with swords and stuff, and keep climbing the walls and jumping about and slashing and attacking. And it's just impossible to stop them, it feels like. But as they do survive like these shots that should kill stuff, they become more dangerous because more people start thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, these demons can't be killed. And as more people think that, the stronger it makes the demons, the less likely your attacks are to actually finish them off. But yeah. But thank you for coming to the stream today. Big love hearts to everybody. I hope you've had a good time. Remember to take care of yourself, be kind to others, and vice versa. Remember to eat good food, sleep well, dream of cupcakes, but don't eat for cupcakes or friends up food, and work hard but play harder. Yeah! Do 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 do. Smash! Love you all! And hopefully the stream will actually end properly today.